Hey, Jordan Bench here, jordanbench.com. In this video, I'm going to share with you a budget-friendly way of doing keto coffee, or what's known as bulletproof coffee. Now, if you're someone that has heard of bulletproof coffee before, but maybe you're just a little intimidated to do it, or maybe you haven't started doing it yet because of the cost, then this video is for you. Maybe you're someone that wants to cut back on the creamer and sugar that you add to the coffee. I know several people that love to just dump that stuff in there. If you're wanting to cut back on it, then this video is for you. I'm going to show you an awesome way to just add in a lot of healthy fats. So it's going to give you a sustained amount of energy, and I'm going to show you a way to make it taste good so you don't feel like you're missing out on what you used to have. Also, if you're someone that is thinking about doing intermittent fasting, but maybe you haven't started yet because the whole idea of not eating up until lunchtime kind of freaks you out, then this is going to help you because I did this for myself. I actually started doing bulletproof coffee first thing in the morning. Like when I woke up, I'd have bulletproof coffee, and it got my body used to having liquids to where I was able to just feed off the healthy fats, and it was able to carry me all the way through lunch. So then I was technically eating my first meal at lunch, but yet I was still having bulletproof coffee. Now that's not true intermittent fasting because it is spiking your insulin levels, but it was a good way to transition me from not doing intermittent fasting to doing intermittent fasting. So hopefully that gives you hope. Okay, so let's just jump right in. So the first thing I have here is good old coffee. But what we're going to do is we're going to make sure we have organic coffee because it's not going to have all the higher amounts of pesticides. Now, obviously, if you can't get organic coffee, then just go with the regular coffee, but I would highly recommend you do organic coffee. So let me add that. This is about 10 ounces of organic coffee. The next ingredient we have, and let me just say too, that we have two main ingredients that we're using here. This is the bulk of it. And then I have a couple others that we're going to add in extra if you want to as an added bonus to make it taste a little bit better and for some other benefits. But the next one we have here is coconut oil. So coconut oil is going to be great because it's good for your digestive system. It's going to help heal leaky gut, and it's also going to help get rid of candida yeast overgrowth. So if you deal with that, this is awesome for that. So I'm going to add in some coconut oil. This is actually a tablespoon of coconut oil. Now, what I need to mention is you don't have to do a tablespoon. If a tablespoon is intimidating to you, then you can do a teaspoon. Or maybe a tablespoon, it's not enough and you want to do 2 tablespoons. You can do that as well. Basically, this whole recipe, you can kind of make it to whatever you think is best for you. You can adjust things. You can add a little bit more. You can take away a little bit. Whatever you want to do, you can make it more for yourself. Next ingredient I have is Kerry Gold butter. Now, this is grass-fed Kerry Gold butter. So what this is it's not going to have hormones, all the added hormones and antibiotics that the other regular butter would have. So I'm going to add Kerry Gold butter. Now, obviously, if you can't find Kerry Gold or organic butter, like I said, I highly recommend you do organic butter. But if you can't, for some reason, there's no reason, you can't do it, then you can also just do regular butter. Although I recommend you go with organic. I'm just going to add a tablespoon of that. So just to recap, I have a tablespoon of coconut oil and a tablespoon of Kerry Gold butter. So that right there is the core makeup of what's called keto coffee or bulletproof coffee. So you could stop right here. Now, if you want it to taste a little bit better, then there's a couple things that we can add to really help it out. So the one thing we can add is Hershey's Cocoa. This is going to give it a mocha flavor, a mocha taste, and it's going to help it out. So with that, I would typically add about a teaspoon. For me, I can do a teaspoon. It tastes pretty good. So I'm going to add that. Like I said, you don't have to add this, but this is going to give it a nice little benefit, nice good taste. Okay, the next thing we can add, if you're looking for the coffee to be just a little sweeter, then you can add stevia. Now this brand right here, it's Stevia Select, and this is the brand that we have found that isn't like overly bitter like a lot of the other ones are. There are some, though, that you can actually get like a liquid dropper and you can just add some drops in. But for this is just like powder, so I'm just going to do a little bit. Now, here's the thing. If you do too much, you cannot undo that. So it might be way too sweet. And you have to keep in mind, too, that when you have sweet food or anything that's going to, like on your tongue, it tastes really sweet, it's going to make you hungrier later down the road. So you're better off just having a little bit of sweetness and not a lot. So I'm just going to do a couple little dashes here. Hopefully I don't overdo it. There you go. Yep, that's good enough for me. I'm someone who doesn't like it too sweet. I prefer to have it more salty. My wife, on the other hand, She likes it to be more sweet. So we have different flavors of what we like for our keto coffee. Okay, so the next one is pink Himalayan sea salt. Now, you may be wondering, why are you adding salt to your coffee? So when you're doing intermittent fasting, if you're not doing intermittent fasting right now, then you don't really have to follow this. But if you are doing intermittent fasting or trying to do some type of fasting, typically what happens is when people do that, they get lower in their minerals because they get mineral depleted. So what you're doing is, with Himalayan sea salt, you're getting 84 minerals. That is extremely high that you're going to be adding. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a quarter of a teaspoon. This is what it looks like if you want to see it. I'm going to add a quarter of a teaspoon into that. Now, like I said, I'm just going to recap. You can add however much of this stuff you want to, all right? There's no set rules for any of this stuff, but you need to make it to where it tastes good for you so that you know you're going to be drinking it. All right, so now let's get to the actual blending of it. This is a Vitamix blender, and I'm just going to give it a quick little blend here. We'll call that good. Honestly, it doesn't take that much because the coffee is so hot, it just melts everything. All right, let me just pour that in here. Look at that. Doesn't that not look like a nice mocha drink? And it's nice and frothy at the top, if you'll notice. I'm telling you what, this stuff tastes amazing. So this was like my lifeline. Like when I was wanting to do intermittent fasting, but I hadn't started yet, this is a way to get me through the day up until lunch because it gave me a good amount of healthy fats, gave me a sustained amount of energy, and then after I had this, I felt like I was able to actually transition into intermittent fasting. Okay, so let me go ahead and give this a little taste test to see how this is. Yep, it's good. It's really good. You're going to like that. It's a nice mocha flavor to it. Also, I'm going to provide a link in the description below. If you want to see an upgraded version of this, maybe some healthier options, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's going to be healthier for you. I'm going to provide a link in the description below. If you like this video, if you like this kind of content, then go ahead and hit the like button. Also, if you have any questions for me about the Keto Coffee, go ahead and comment below. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video.